So if you've been struggling in the markets recently, then honestly I don't blame you, because it's been a really, really tough time recently. But if you do want to hit some banger trades like this, even in these horrible price conditions, then you need to watch this video, because I'm going to explain my strategy and show you some of the trades that I took last week. Took 4 or 5 good winners. As always, you can get alerts for my trades down below in the description in the WAP. So I'm just going to go through some of the trades that I took last week. So basically on Monday, we had a ridiculously huge Trump candle, didn't we? We obviously open up. I'm from the UK, if you can't tell, so I trade London and New York. London is like 9 o'clock in the morning or something, I can't remember. 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock here. We get to 9 o'clock, we dump down. Obviously, we're kind of messing around here, and then we get this ridiculously huge Trump candle saying that the war in Iran is essentially over or whatever. And then at this point, I'm thinking, okay, Monday was a bit cooked, to be honest. Because you can see here, we basically just had this huge candle, and we chopped around for the rest of the day. No real trades. But the way that I trade is, I'll go into any day that I'm going to trade, Monday to Friday, and I'll just go in and I'll do something like this, where I'll just go and mark like all the lows, all the obvious lows in the local area for that day, and then I'll basically just go and set alerts at them like this, and then I'll just wait until they get hit. I just trade from lows that get swept. I don't need to worry about sitting around on the charts all day waiting for trades to come up. And very simply, I'll just be waiting for sweeps of liquidity. That's my first condition for taking a trade. You can see here that there would have potentially been trades from this level being swept here. That would have been good. But anyway, so this is what I do every day. So Monday was a bit cooked. There wasn't really any trades. You can see here that we came down and we created a pretty obvious low down here. Let me go back to the 1 minute. So I'm on the 1 minute here. I trade the 1 minute mostly, but I do trade plenty of other time frames as well. Why can I not find where I was? There we go. So you can see I'm on the 1 minute. We've come down. It's pretty cooked. Huge candle. We've come down. We've created a little bit of a range here. And then very simply, like I said, I'm waiting for lows like this to get swept so that I can take trades from them. I think I marked these two out, and I was just waiting for them to get hit. And you can see in the afternoon here, we came down. And I will now show you what I'm looking for. Sweep of liquidity. I'm looking for a reaction. A bullish reaction, obviously. A bullish reaction. I want good momentum. I'm looking for an inverted fair value gap. I'm sure you've heard of these by now. IFVGs. You can go and look them up. Is it inverted fair value gap? I think I'm a bit dyslexic because I always manage to get this wrong somehow. But primarily looking for 3 candle pattern V shapes. And then very simply, I'll just enter on the inverse. Target 1R. And then I'll just go break even. Target 1R. I'll scale and break even. And then I'll just leave runners for liquidity. Now, if that sounds all complicated, don't worry. I'm just going to go through it on this trade perfectly for you. So you can see here, what have we got? We've created a low, and we're in a bit of a range. And then on the afternoon here, we come down and we sweep the low. And then what do we get? We've got a sweep of liquidity down here. Let's forget the upper one because we didn't really get a reaction from there. But let's just look at this. Sweep the liquidity, I should say, if I can actually get my words out. Like this. You can see we've got a fair value gap here. Let's look at our criteria. We've got a sweep. We've got a bullish reaction. We come down, we get a 1 candle, 2 candle pattern. We create the gap. We inverse the gap instantly with a really, really good bullish candle. Look at how this candle closed. This is a strong candle. This is what you want to see. Bullish reaction, momentum. You've got your inverted fair value gap. You've got your 3 candle pattern V shape. And then all I do is I'll just enter on this inversion. Now, I tend to risk about $100, $200 per trade, depending on the trade. On good trades like this, I'll risk $200. And I'm looking to target 1R, as I said, up here. And basically, my risk is the sizing, in terms of sizing, so I get asked this a lot, is basically halfway between the low and the gap. So if we do something like this, we inverse it, and then we trickle down and close back below, then I'll just close the trade as a loss. But I generally want to size halfway between the low and the gap so that it doesn't just go like this and instantly wreck me for like $500, because I don't want to be wrecked for $500. No one does. I trade about 30 accounts copy traded. So I tend to just wait for good trades most of the time. You can see here, so this one played out perfectly. It hit the 1R, which was like somewhere here. And then I scaled half, so about $100 profit, went break even. And then I just trailed my other one up to around, I think I got up to about a 2R on this before it started to mess around. I figured if we were going to reverse from here, we'd go back to this high pretty quickly. But you can see once we started messing around at around this 50% area, which I will show you here. We started messing around here. We got into this 618 area a few times. We made equal highs here and then didn't go and take them again. I think I ended up just closing for around a 2R. So about 300 $350 profit on this trade. But overall, this is exactly what I'm looking for right here. I'm going to copy this so that I can paste it all over the chart. So Monday was good. I ended up taking a good trade. We create the low that I'm looking for to sweep. We sweep the low and I take the trade from there, from liquidity, and we get a decent trade. 2R trade, perfect. That's exactly what I'm looking for. So obviously I trade London and I trade New York and afternoon of New York. But I don't trade Asia because I'm asleep because I'm from the UK. So as you can see here, there was actually a really good trade here that I could have taken. A few good trades here that I could have taken, but I was annoyed when I saw these because I was asleep. If you look here, you can see we create this obvious low throughout the night. Obvious accumulation here. We get the manipulation. And then look, this distribution was pretty insane, to be honest. So look, we sweep the low. We sweep the low here. We don't get the reaction initially, but we come down, we create another low, and then look at this big, huge bullish candle reaction here. This would have been a potential trade that you could have taken. Obviously, it's a bit risky because we are kind of far away from the first gap, but we actually inversed 2 more gaps here. So you probably could have taken this with this as the stop loss, although the stop loss is quite big. You can see here this is about 20 points of a stop or something, but you can see obviously this would have worked with your target being the liquidity high. This was an absolute banger. I really wish that I could have taken this, but sadly I was asleep. And then one more. Where's my bloody thing gone? Come back. It's really annoying on TraderView how this floating box works sometimes. You can see we've got our criteria. This met all the criteria here. We've got a sweep, resweep, bullish momentum, huge bullish candle, inverted fair value gap, about 3 or 4 on the 1 minute here. Really, really obvious. I'd enter on the inverse and then obviously targeting 1R and then leaving runners for liquidity. This hit around a 3R at that high. And then straight after, there was another resweep of the low and another inversion that you could have taken that would have won here. You can see this one was a bit... I would have probably taken this half size in reality, just because if you look at how long it took to inverse, you can see we messed around quite a bit here. This was nowhere near a 3 candle pattern V-shape. It wasn't really even close. You can see it took like 5, 6, 7, 8 candles to inverse. So I probably would have taken this half size because in reality I wasn't convinced it were going to pop up like it did. And you can see here, it did actually work. This one would have been another great trade which you could have held runners for a long, 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 long time. This would have been an insane trade. You could have got 1 to 10, 1 to 20, 12R there, up to that high. That would have been an insane trade, but sadly I was asleep. So yeah, we go into another day here. You can see I would have woke up at this time here, marked out these lows. So I would have marked all these lows here. As you can see, pretty weird day this one. Tuesday. Wasn't really anything that I would have taken here, to be honest. You can see we kind of had this weird grinding down price action. No real sweeps of liquidity here. There was a potential trade that you could have taken here, but I probably wouldn't have taken this one personally, because there wasn't just that really obvious low swept here that I would have wanted to trade from. But then as you can see, we did come into New York Open here. We came down, we swept the low. But then sadly, no inverses, really bad PA here, nothing that I would have taken. You can see this just chopping around. These massive candles swinging up and down, and you can see there's just no clean inverse that you would have wanted to take here. I'm pretty sure there was a 30-second down here that I did take for half size, but you can't see it on my chart here. But sadly, I did actually take a trade down here, but I think I got break-evened on it, to be honest. Scaled half and broke even. But yeah, this day was really weird. As you can see, nothing clean at all. Really bad price action. Really horrible choppy price action. Nothing here that you would have wanted to take realistically. You can see here there were some trades that maybe you could have taken down here. Obviously we came down. There was some really obvious liquidity here that we wanted to target. We came down. We swept this area. We started to accumulate. We created another low here. We came down. We swept this low. And there was somewhat of a 2-minute gap here, I believe. If I could actually draw my gap without getting destroyed by my magnet tool, that would be great. There was somewhat of a 2-minute gap that you could have taken here that would have worked, but again, nothing clean, nothing obvious on Tuesday. And then after hours, that huge pump to the upside. Another day of being inside here. Inside liquidity. We created an area here that we swept, but no reaction, no reaction. You can see none of this is anything that I would have taken. No obvious lows being swept with a good reaction. There was actually a trade here that you could have taken. As you can see, this was another London session trade which worked. This was one that I took myself, I believe. This was also a 2-minute gap, I think. But you can see we come down, obviously I wake up at what we're looking at here, 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. We come down, I'm thinking, okay, I've marked out these lows, but then we create this swing low here, and then I'm like doing some videos for a while, and then we come down, we sweep the low, and I'm like, oh, okay, got a pretty bullish reaction from this low here. You can see this gap, I think, was a 1 minute and a 2 minute. Like I said, we obviously inversed it here. Really, really obvious area of liquidity with a big obvious wick. We come down, we sweep it, and then I'm just looking for the reaction, really. I've got an alert set here. You can see this wasn't a 3 candle pattern V shape, but it was a 4 candle pattern V shape on the 1 minute here. Decent momentum to the upside. You can see it messed around a little bit, but when you look at this above and you can see this really obvious liquidity, it's pretty likely that we're going to come up and take these kinds of liquidities when you get a sweep of liquidity from the low. Obviously, when you sweep a major swing and we create like this kind of trend line liquidity, you tend to get a reaction back towards it. This is the kind of bread and butter setup that I'm always looking for. And let's look at what we're looking for here. We've got the sweep, bullish reaction, decent momentum. We've got the inverted fair value gap. This is a 4 candle pattern V shape, which is pretty good. Almost as good as a 3 candle pattern. Pretty decent momentum considering the candle sizes here as well. As you can see, this would have worked as well. The 1R would have been up here, and then it did just accelerate all the way up to this high, which was around a 4R. So absolutely incredible. Another really good trade on Wednesday. After that, I wasn't really willing to take any risks with my account. You can see lots of choppy, crazy price action here. I think there was some news in this area. There was actually a trade here as well, which I took on some swing accounts, just some ones that I didn't really care about. You can see we have this really obvious wick that we created. We've got ourselves some really obvious fair value gaps here. I actually waited for both of these to close before I took it. As you can see, this was a I think this was a scale half and break even trade in the end, because we hit my 1R and then I went break even and got break evened on the rest, which is fine. And then there is also a trade down here which I ended up taking, which was a really, really good trade in my opinion, just because of the momentum. If you look here, you can see we've got tons and tons of liquidity all the way down through this area. We come down and we just missed this low, but we created an SMT with ES, which means that sometimes you get a reaction on this based off of ES sweeping the low and NQ just missing it. You can see here, these are my criteria. What have we got? Sweep of liquidity, really bullish reaction. We create a 1 minute fair value gap here, which is really obvious. We obviously inverse this on the 4 candle pattern V shape, which isn't as good, but I'm still willing to take this because we've got ourselves a, what is this, 30-point candle off the sweep of the liquidity. Pretty obvious that we're going to want to retrace somewhat from this level. As you can see, I would have entered here. Stop loss, as always, I'm sized for about halfway between the gap and the low in case we reverse. And then you can see here, we come up, we hit the 1R pretty much instantly over the next few candles, 2 minutes or so. Take 100 off here, leave runners for liquidity, and then I just left a runner all the way up. And I was just trading at this point when we got to like 3R. Probably made 400, 500 on this trade as well. And to be honest, that's about it. Thursday was rubbish. Wednesday was pretty good here. There was another really nice V shape here. You're really just looking for these V shapes, guys. If you can find a V shape like this with a fair value gap, combined with the sweep of liquidity, you're probably going to be winning trades more often than not. That's what I would say. Thursday and Friday were an absolute joke. As you can see, we just absolutely collapsed to the downside. What are we doing right now? As you can see, I've got alerts set at all these lows, just like I told you. This is what I'm waiting for. And I'm just waiting for obvious liquidity, guys. Go on the 5 minute, look at these obvious swing lows. You can see we're getting a bit of a renaissance here for NQ, as we have come down. If you look at the Nasdaq index here, we come down and swept these lows here and got a really bullish reaction on the 1 hour here. You can see we tapped these and instantly bounced, as you can see, the daily. So I'm feeling quite bullish today. I think hopefully we get a swing down into one of these levels, and then I can get a long today on NQ. But that's essentially it, guys. I really appreciate you watching. If you do want more information, more education, and you can get alerts for this down below in my WOP in the description, the link will be down there. Go and check it out. You can get yourself involved in the community, which I'm going to be pushing hard because we are going to be taking some absolute banging trades soon. As always, I appreciate you watching. Do all the like and subscribe stuff, and watch the video on screen next. And I'll thank you very much.